Hello?
Hello?
Is that the olden days?
Oh, yes, sonny. What do you want?
Yeah, could you tell me more about your body position in the various phases of the stroke?
Okay. Well, you have to make sure you lean your body as far forward as you can so that you make sure you lengthen your stroke. Make sure you drive your legs completely flat before you allow your body to swing through from the shoulder. You then spin your hands away as quickly as... hello? Hello?
Hey, this is Infinite Rowing, and we have done videos on each element of the stroke. From the extraction to the draw, through the recovery, into the placement, and through the drive. Although we have discussed body position in each of these, today we want to help you understand and find your best body position in each phase of the stroke. You may think that all you have to do is find a top rower that you admire.
I will find you.
Emulate their stroke and you'll do well. The truth is that elite rowers come in quite specific shapes and sizes, and if we all look like that, then maybe we could do this. Secondly, and more importantly, the closer you look at some of these top athletes, the more you will notice that they have very individual styles and techniques that suit their specific attributes and limitations. And so then what's right and wrong becomes a little bit more of a gray area. One thing that is constant, though, is that trying to row outside the limits of your natural physiology is firstly ineffective, but could also lead to injury.
God, it hurts so bad.
If you find yourself in a crew with people of considerably different sizes or flexibility, for example, then the entire crew has to find some way to meet in the middle rather than trying to force somebody who, for example, is shorter to try and manufacture length that they just don't have. A crew that is synced up will row better and faster than one that is trying to row outside of its capabilities anyway. Naturally, you should try and counter these things by changing the rig on the boat, but that's not always possible, especially if you are rowing in a club environment and need to share equipment. That said, this is no excuse for you to not challenge your limitations and change the things that it is within your power to change. If you are just a recreational rower, then maybe this doesn't apply to you. But if you've taken the time to watch this video, chances are you want to get better.
Yes, I do. I really do.
You can't get taller, you can't get younger, but you can get stronger, you can get fitter, you can get more flexible, you can get lighter. So work on what you can. The rewards are worth it. So let's start with sequencing through the recovery, ending in a way that you are going to make your best possible placement and be in the best position to be able to start the drive. You have drifted your hands away as you float the first part of the recovery. We don't believe in quick hands away. Your arms should not be locked out, but rather soft and loose, allowing your hands to be independent from your upper body. It is vital to have a relaxed, neutral upper body. Make space between your ears and your shoulders. Ensure you have a relaxed grip on the oar handles and let your hands move into the overlap. Keep them relaxed, but make sure you unite left and right rather than letting them part. This should set your arms and shoulders for the recovery. Once your arms have comfortably moved out, remove the thought of rocking your shoulder over. Instead, rather think about where your weight is and move it from the back to the front of the seat through what we call the twerk, by rocking your pelvis into flexion. The action of doing so is more like pushing your chair out from sitting at a table than any movement of your shoulder. I know this may seem like a subtle difference, but the thought process makes for a much more intuitive, natural, and accurate movement. If you tell someone to rock their shoulder over, then firstly, how far do they rock it over by? More importantly, they can rock their shoulder over from their mid-back, rather than hinging through the hip joint where the movement should occur. I know a lot of coaches want you to have reached your full forward lean before you break your legs, but we believe in a more dynamic, fluid motion, so soften rather than bend your knee as you do this. Allow this movement of your pelvis to inform your relaxed upper body on where it needs to be. This movement also starts moving the boat in the direction of travel, so as you start drawing it under you, feel like you are pinching into your hip flexor. This should set your upper body. Sit still as you move through the draw. As your knees start to rise, think about bringing your ribs towards them. This will give you a strong, neutral, and natural spine position and allow you to rise into the placement rather than diving into it if your body was swinging down from the shoulder like a metronome. Sit up and with a final straightening of your arms, push your hands around the radius of the inboards and lift them into the placement as you feel your heels lighten on the footboard. This should be your natural best position to start the drive. There is a caveat to this, and that is the height of your feet and the rake of the foot stretcher. Ideally, our drive should be as horizontal as possible, but the higher your feet are, the harder you will find it to compress into the placement because you'll be tipped backwards. The sweet spot is have your feet as high as possible while still being able to comfortably rock your pelvis into flexion. The easiest place to measure this is on the erg. There are recommendations for what this number should be.
Number is 3. No!
But rather find your own natural optimal position and measure from the top of the seat into the inside bottom heel of your shoe. And then set the boat up to be similar to this. Once you have placed and connected, it's time to start the drive. To find your natural position for this, let's look at the drive in two halves. First thing to move would be your feet. If you activate your core in order to hold your upper body in its current position while maintaining soft, loose arms and shoulders, then think only about driving your heels down onto the foot plate. If you keep your weight on the front of your seat for this, you will maintain a correct position for the first part of the drive. Think about connecting your hips and your hands, or use a trailer strap to do this for real. The idea is that you don't want your hip to move 1 centimeter without your hands doing the same. The thought process should be to try and push your foot plate out from under your hands. This is mainly done with a pressure off the ball of your foot and is mostly an action of your quads as you try to roll your foot flat. The second half of the drive starts once you feel your heel planted firmly on the foot plate. It is now time to drive off your entire foot. This is the difference between the power you can generate in a squat versus a sissy squat. As you drive, start opening your body from the hip joint against the pressure of your leg drive, bringing the posterior chain muscles of your glutes and hamstrings into play. Have these muscles working together to open this angle against the force of opening this angle. Think of it as though you are leaning your upper body into it and suspending yourself off your hands like using TRX straps. Sit up and maintain a tall body through the swing and keep your arms straight as long as you can. There should be a very small overlap between your arm pull and your upper body swing. Have the mindset to draw your hands up and outward from the elbow into the last part of the drive as you feather the blade into your fingers in a rolled extraction. Keep the pressure on the spoon as long as you can rather than dumping your hands into your lap with an aggressive tap down. You will know if you have sat tall and swung through the hip joint if your seat moves slightly forward at the end of the movement. Make sure that your shoulder has passed your hip at the end of the drive and have shifted your weight to the back of the seat while constantly keeping pressure against the footboard. There will be some change in your center of gravity through the swing of your body, but try keep this to a minimum. Think about keeping your head and chest in the same place by rising rather than diving into the placement and drawing up rather than dumping your weight into the extraction. Finding your own best natural position will give you the confidence to be able to apply as much power as you can within the limits of your own physiology.
I'm good!
Don't try and follow some sort of cookie-cutter approach where you need to hit certain angles or distances. And don't try and force your body into the shape that you see on top athletes.
Stretch.
Experiment with your own style, but be guided by the parameters of what still makes effective biomechanics. You are the only one who will know what's best for you.